Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Here we are. Oh, here it goes. Getting ready. Everybody can hear me.
Even outside, it's packed.
Huge crowd. Huge.
Lumpy pillows kiss my ass.
All right.
China don't buy. None of you buy.
Well, all I ask is that you like the place. I mean, come on. Give it a like. It's a Tuesday. You can like something. All right, here we go. 3, 2. I got you before I didn't even get to 1. I just did it. I'm like Liam Neeson in A Million Ways to Die in the West. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Hi. What's going on? Hey, hi, beautiful people. That's right. That's absolutely right. Hi, Nancy. What's happening? Ms. Mac. What's going on? J Big is 5. Jared, what's going on? Come on now. Everybody's a hooligan grande. Let's get sweaty. Such a show today. It's going to be a good time. Hope you're well. Don't forget to hit the like early. Let people know we're online. It beats the hell out of this notification bell. Fucking paranoid, deep state craziness. You shouldn't have to hit a notification bell. I'm here every day at 3 my time. I'm always here a little late sometimes when we have a tech issue, which I'm always fixing myself. But in the interim, instead of have some sort of notification like, oh, by the way, he's on. You're like, I know, I'm watching. It's thanks, you're late. You could just show up, and then let people know in case they've never seen the show before, and that will be the thing. See, look at this. This is just lovely. Peg knows what's up. Peg knows what's up. I said, what's up? Hit the like. And think about becoming a Patreon subscriber. You know what? Stop thinking about it and just do it. I think that's probably my mistake. I would probably have a lot more Patreon support if I stopped asking people to think about doing it. Just told them to do it. Excuse me 1 second. Yes, I've been a dumbass for a long time. Thank you very much. No. I don't know why I didn't think of that till now. Love you too. Bye. Hit the like, god damn it, and share the show and the clips and comment, I suppose. Although we have a chat, so I don't know what the comment, maybe on the videos, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Let's do it. All right. Now, I love to do it. I just did it. I'm going to do it again. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Apparently, I'm being warned, though, not to do it. Or oh, right-wing media and your weird little typos. We all have them. You just have more than usual. And the rest of us don't pelican the nutsack, if I may, of a dude who says he has the best words. Are they doing it again? They sure am. Are they doing it? They're the doing it. Come on now. They're the doing it. Do it. Are the doing it again? Beware. Beware of someone, of the mad Y thief. the terrible, yes, the terrible thief running around stealing Joe Pags's Y. Are the doing it again? Don't take the bait. Don't do it. Don't take the bait. But I want to. Don't do it, Hal. Don't. You're gonna regret it. But there's a big play by no. Don't take the bait, Hal. It's gonna be crazy, stupid, crazy. But I have to click it. I gotta find out. I'm there. We don't get to see this dickhead often enough. And by the way, every time I see Joey Pags, all I can think of is, why isn't there a dinner theater version of Bosch? I wonder what Bosch's stunt double is doing right about now. Kind of looks like Bosch if you squint, only not attractive. we only have Hollis Milver or whatever his name is. We only got one of those. There's only one Bosch. Can you find us a second Bosch that we can dent and it won't matter? Cool. All right. Anyways. Yes, I noticed it, CSL. Are they doing it again? They sure are doing it again. All right, here we go. I'm going to take the bait. I can't not. I need to be stopped. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. Help me out of this hellhole.
Let me give a stark, direct warning to anybody who's getting a wild hair. Let me help you out here.
Okay, who's getting a wild hair? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who's getting a wild hair up their ass about something? This would be, he's sending a warning out to people who might feel the need to be warned. This is going to be good. It's going to be fucking spectacular.
There was going to be a challenge to the election, the results of the election, some delegates, some electors from some states.
What? Oh, is that what they were going to do? They were going to challenge him? As opposed to halt the vote with violence and bomb threats and then swap them out with a group of fake electors?
In 2020.
Yes. And just didn't work out, did it? Yeah, you're fucking, nope. Just kind of swing and a miss. Oh, by the way, hold on. For whatever reason, my note-taking software has just decided to like eat shit. It's adorable. Why Notion? Why are you a blank screen? Why are you crazy pants? Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Can I show you guys this would be in line with this, and I swear to God, I'll move on to the rest of this. This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. Here it comes. Are you ready? Are you ready, Joey Pags? Are you ready? This is a new story, and I fucking love these things. I can't believe I missed it when it came in. Oh, shit. Oh no. Oh, no, Joey Pags. Not in the middle of your fake electors screed. Dare I? Oh, dear. You don't say. So Joe Biden won Virginia again. Congratulations, Joe Biden. Just wait. Thanks, Randy. I like the jacket too. It's I gotta be honest, it's a good on-camera jacket, but it sucks in real life. It's one of these jackets that's starting to break down, but it works on camera, so I can wear it for the show and keep myself warm, but I wouldn't wear it out in public because it looks a little ratty. Unless anybody knows how to, is there spray vinyl? Can you fix a jacket like this when they start to crumble? You know what I'm talking about? Anybody who shops at H&M knows this. All right. Don't make me say this name without giggling. Virginia. Why would you do that to me? You've already got virgin in your name, and you want me to say man ass? You want me to do that? You want me to... You want to say man ass? You want to pronounce... Am I putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable? Man asses? This is the gayest town in the world. All right. Oh, yeah, this is very faux leather. Yep. A Northern Virginia county is acknowledging that it underreported President Joe Biden's margin of victory over Donald Trump there in the 2020 presidential election by about 4,000 votes. The first detailed accounting errors that came to light in 2022 as part of a criminal case, the admission Thursday from the Prince William County Office of Elections, comes a week after prosecutors from the Virginia Attorney General's office dropped charges against the county's former registrar, Michelle White. Counts were also off in races for the U.S. Senate and U.S. House of Representatives, though by lesser margins, you'd think. In a statement, the county's current registrar, Eric Olson, brother of Nellie, son of Harlan, emphasized that the mistakes did not come close to affecting the outcome of any race, did not consistently favor one party or candidate, but were likely due to a lack of proper planning, a difficult election environment, and human error. It was just accidental. Just happened to steal 4,000 votes from Joe Biden in the 2020 election. Did you ever wonder why Donald Trump knows there was so much election fraud? And these Republicans that ended up losing their jobs or getting fired or getting... Did anybody know? All right. Just saying, that's pretty gorgeous. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Okay, so anyways, you were saying something about the election in you look very sad, Joey. You look tired, dude. You look like the job is getting to you. That you watched a bunch of recent Trump speeches over the weekend and you went, "That's my guy." Fuck. Yeah, that's the general look.
I make this as clear as I can with you. There was going to be a challenge. You had Ted Cruz out there was going to challenge. You had some others. I think Hawley was going to challenge. You had some...
Yeah, but he,
representatives in the House were going to challenge, and constitutionally, they were allowed to challenge and investigate what happened with these electors.
No. There was no... They weren't stopping because, like, where did these electors come from? These were their fake electors, dumb fuck. That's not what they were there for. Their idea was that Trump couldn't have lost. That was the argument, which is not an argument on any merit. And by the way, for those people who are like, it's not possible. He's got to be popular. I believe the sun shines out of his ass, and look at my orange, flecky, gooey tan that I got from him. Those folks just seemed amazed that Trump could lose, and that was the basis of their whole fucking argument. Not this. They weren't arguing electors. They were sneaking in their own crowd. But nice revisionist history there, Pags.
Before certifying the election on January 6th, 2021, that was going to happen.
No, it wasn't, because January 6th is the day you fucking do it, dum-dum. If they could have done it before then, they would have done it before then, but they lost everywhere, and every recount told them to go pound sand.
These senators and members of the House of Representatives all said, we're going to challenge. And this is going to be a real constitutional challenge. And if at the end of the challenge,
yeah, and it wasn't.
At the end of the investigation, if Biden won, then he won. Then we'll certify. If he didn't, then he didn't. And we won't certify.
And these extra electors that think that they're here legally, and some of them knew that they were engaged in criminality, that mix of people, they're just standing here for the fuck of it, to stamp something as soon as the mob kills Nancy Pelosi and hangs fucking Mike Pence. And as soon as that part's over, then we'll just reinstate the God King.
Why am I bringing up January 6th?
Because you're a sore loser, and because you're a bit of a lunatic, and because it's a guaranteed ratings lightning bolt for the idiots that actually watch your show. I think that's probably it.
Because what happened on January 6th stopped them. They didn't challenge. They didn't investigate.
They were in the process of their objections. This is true, but their objections, they already had. They had the backfill of what they were. The challenge they had was just to freeze it, and then these other people would just come in and kill the vice president, and then just swap out the fucking votes.
They didn't re-vote. They didn't look.
Yeah, they did. They voted later
Into the electors that were sent.
There was this. All right, that's not a thing. You can't just make up a whole other conspiratorial side fucking thing. That's not done. You don't do that. You don't get to do that. Shut the fuck up.
Nope, they all went, put their tail between their legs, and they certified the election.
Well, in defense of them putting their tail between their legs, that's where Trump likes it. And they're what do you expect? I mean, they're Republicans. They're cowards, and they're weak, and they don't know how to govern, and they certainly can't coordinate any of their efforts. The kind of people you'd want in charge of the greatest country on the earth.
Without the challenges that were going to happen. There were real challenges.
Sorry, through the earth. Sorry.
There were viable challenges. You have the right to question the results of an election.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, here's a good idea. Do it while you're brushing your teeth, and then shut the fuck up, because they did question the election. They had multiple recounts. They had court cases. They lost everywhere. You're a moron. move on.
Democrats do it every election cycle that they lose.
No, we don't. No. If there were situations where people, let's say in impoverished black areas, that were denied voting machines that either worked or were adequate number to the people that were voting there versus the fucking like upper class white districts, which had plenty. And by the way, rednecks in small areas, eastern Kentucky and the like, are always fucked out of their machines as well. But you guys don't give a shit because you know they're going to vote your way and you win the county, so you know get the electorate. So you don't really care how many show up because the majority of them will probably vote your way because they're the only ones who will trudge through the fucking process to do it. But you'll choke off the Democratic vote in those areas, and so that's been the concern previously. And the difference is that we sucked it up after Gore and legislated changes. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why the voting right, why Republicans wanted the Voting Rights Act to expire, because they want to make sure that they get a leg up in every election and they can deny the right to vote to other people.
That was stopped. Why was it stopped?
Because it wasn't going fast enough for a lot of maggots who, I guess they thought it was going to take them a lot longer to beat up the cops and get in the building. I guess that maybe it was an IKEA gallows. It just went together faster.
Because there was a large gathering of people, mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful. Yeah, I mean, it was I say what you will, but that guy took a peaceful shit in the rotunda.
Who gathered in Washington, D.C., and in a show of solidarity.
Yes. And bear spray, and hornet spray, and clubs, and knives, and guns, and body armor, and helmets, and stolen riot shields from police, and poop, and also urine, and also amphetamines, and hammers. There was mostly peaceful. Oh, how's about read the red light news? What's the red light news? Is there a red light news? What was the red light news? The breaking news? Hype overload. Oh, we got a hype train. Nope, that's not it. Which one? We'll figure it out. Give me a second. I'm going to stay on this for a second, and then we will get to it in just a moment.
Peacefully and patriotically, we're letting people know, yes, we want you to challenge.
And then, if you get there, and I've tweeted, Mike Pence didn't have the strength to do it, then you charge up the steps and, oh, fuck, right.
And then a few of them were incited to riot.
Were they? They were incited to riot? Were they hypnotized ahead of time? Or they just, what did it take? Just took a couple of maggot whisperers just going, psst, attack.
Oh, yeah. A small number out of the massive crowd that was there. Some say
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Look, that's how we know there's a difference between maggots and regular Republicans, or even like mid-level MAGA Republicans, right? Who will just show up for the R on their shirt. Is I don't give a rat's ass about, and by the way, and I'll even go this far. I greatly appreciate all the upset maggots that showed up on January 6th and watched Trump's speech. And when he was done blathering his bullshit, instead of making a right and going to the Capitol, made a left and went to Kramer's Books and had a nice lunch. Which was the vast majority of the people there. Thank you. I congratulate you. I'm sorry that you feel like you lost and you're a little bit brokenhearted, but I appreciate you taking the L. Even after you flew your look at the effort that the maggots put in. They flew their dumbasses all the way to Washington to listen to this asshole say the same shit they'd heard a dozen times, and then after they heard it, they went lunch, and they went that way. Good for you. Thank you. Maggots, I appreciate it. You're good people. You're nuts. And I don't know what the fuck you think his policies are. It's always infrastructure week until Joe Biden signs the bill, I guess. And we're talking about a specific group of people. And these are the people who this asshole calls hostages or political prisoners or whatever, who turned right, went to the Capitol and went, fuck, I can't wait for this peacefully to work its way out. I got to beat the fuck out of some cops. And those people are fucked. Yeah, they're going to go to jail and stay there. Just, anyways, good luck.
The crowd was as big as 1 million people. Some say it was 250,000. Either way.
Yeah, million, 250,000. It sounds like Trump math. My guess is it might have been 250,000 people. And Trump went, look at the million people here. Because as we have seen in his fraud trial, that's how the math always works. Unless he was talking about the crowd to the IRS, in which case, if it had 1 million people, he would say it had 250,000. But that's the only time.
There's a lot of people. And somebody with something, some entity, something.
I'm going to go with Deep State, CIA. What do you think? MK Ultra? Lizard people, aliens, lizard aliens, baby eating lizard aliens.
Caused an incitement of violence.
It caused an incitement of violence. So the violence wasn't the problem. The fact that they engaged in violence wasn't the problem. It's that somebody poked them in just the right spot and hit their fuck the police button on all these maggots and made them charge up the fucking steps and beat police officers. They were inside. They couldn't do anything about it. Now, the nice thing is that during the George Floyd protests, that there were definitely some riots. And thank you, Joe Pegs, for the consistency of your thought that the people who rioted in Minneapolis and Chicago and other places around the George Floyd protests, if they didn't want to, they showed up mostly peaceful. But someone, probably the same person, at the Capitol, incited them to violence. It's no one's fault. You're not responsible for your own actions. Welcome to the new Republican Party. Perpetual victims, puppets on a string.
You've got people like Ray Epps on video saying, we're going into the Capitol.
Yes, and then also on video going, hey man, lay off the cops. They're just doing their job. They're on our side the actual day. Because like a lot of Republicans, he talks a big game the day before and then chickens out on the day. That's why he became an informant. He's like, I didn't think anybody fucking listened to me. I was just trying to get some fucking right-wing pussy. Isn't that what you do? It works for Alex Jones, and I have no idea how that works.
Come on, move this and go in here. And he's whispering in people's ears.
What did he whisper? It's the whisper. What was the whisper? Please don't. You know what? I appreciate that Joy Pags is not going to say what Ray Epps whispered, because every maggot within earshot will immediately freeze and turn sideways and walk towards the nearest building that was built in the 1800s. And if there's a cliff between them and that thing, or a river, they'll just drown or fall to their death, and it's not a good thing.
Kash Patel says there were dozens, if not hundreds, of undercover agents or federal agents in that crowd. That's
because he's an asshole. Also, not undercover agents. Informants. People who, like the vast majority of the people who were at that stupid, I don't even call it a rally, Trump's big blather in the ellipse, that, the people that went that way, some of the people who their heart said go that way, but they followed the group that way, and then they ended up near the steps and they're like, this is not good. I don't think this is good. These people have knives and guns, and the guy's got a truck full of weapons, and hello, FBI, this is bad. That would be those people. Now, from that point, from the very point they made the phone call, they are technically an FBI informant, because they informed on their fellow maggots.
It's according to all sorts of sources.
All sorts of sources. And never mind the fact that all of those sources are implicated in, and more than likely a defendant in, the Jan 6 insurrection case. Put that aside. I want you to put that aside, okay? I want you to just move the fact that all these people who say that there were a bunch of FBI guys in the crowd making everyone do this, I want you to put aside the fact that the person saying that is one of the people who organized the day. Just move that over here. Just move that over here. Just forget about that for a second, because I want to take that gap in your knowledge once you've emptied it out, sort of in a Buddhist way, the empty bowl philosophy. Once you've emptied out, hollowed out that hole in your knowledge, I want to skullfuck it with ignorance and political bias. That's the message here.
Somebody incited them to go in. Now, who benefits if there's no challenge? Biden does. Who benefits if there's no challenge? The Democrats do.
Yeah, you would have think all those maggots would have heard someone whisper, we should take it easy, and maybe listen to that, and then not attack the police officers because, guys, we're playing into their hands. That's basically what happened. Like, everybody, even fucking, like, the fucking QAnon shaman was like, peace be upon. All right, fuck this. Let's go in. I'm sick of this shit. An asshole.
Who benefits?
Trump, because they were trying to kill the vice president and the speaker and take over. And then they had their electors waiting in the wings. And once shit is signed, game's over, and now he's president again, and nobody can undo it because they've officially been certified, and then they hold it up for 4 months, and then Vladimir Putin kills somebody, and then we all have to live with it.
If they stop the investigation, Biden does. Obama does. The Democrats do.
Obama? There's always got to be the ghost black guy in the background. You know what I mean? There's always watch it. It's like the Where's Waldo of black people. Just Obama is just like.
Why am I talking about that today?
Because you're an idiot? No, because you know what? That's not fair. Because you have difficulty dealing with the loss. And we've all been there. So why do you think, though?
Instead of Texas. Well, I am talking about Texas.
Oh, because you want a civil war or something? Oh, okay. I think I got it. I hope I'm right. I probably am. He's using the illusion that Jan 6 benefits Biden to warn Republicans that listen to his show to not go to Texas and start a civil war and kill a bunch of people, not because it's bad, but because that's how they get you. What do you think? You think that's it? I bet. Yeah.
So I went to the gym today.
Well, that's the first time for everything.
And I hear somebody talking about how he's going to go to the border. I'm going to head down. I'm thinking about heading down.
Really? After, yeah, as soon as they free up the tanning booth and then somebody gets off the fucking cable machine.
Why? Why are you heading down?
Because you don't understand. I need to defend America by menacing a woman and her 3-year-old who are seeking asylum. As I trespass on private land or federal land, and get my ass caught in razor wire, and then have to explain the scars to my wife.
The last thing we need.
Also, by the way, this is bullshit. Right, Candy Girl, cool story, bro. Yeah, this did not happen. He does not go to like the right-wing gym. How does by the way, what are the trainers like at the MAGA gym? Do you show up not wanting to work out and somebody whispers in your ear and suddenly you're like, yeah, fuck this. I just can't, you know what? I want to stand, I want to get a smoothie, maybe walk around, maybe meet some people. Whatever you do, don't work out. Fuck, da-da-da, da-da-da, bing, 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 as Trump would say.
Is a bunch of people who love the country and who love Texas.
Which country would that be?
Heading down to this 2.5-mile area in Eagle Pass where this park is.
Yeah. Well, now you mention it, does sound like a stupid idea.
It's the last thing we need.
Well, I don't know. The last thing you need is a coffin. Just to be, just technically. And technically, that's for other people. You don't even need it.
The last thing we need is...
The reality is the last thing you need is a shovel.
People tweeting about civil war. I'm telling you, it did not work out January 6, 2021. because they were able to use people's emotion and passion.
And idiocy, and apparently the fact that they have a doughy, porous, spongy brain with very few firing synapses, and all it takes is a whisper to the contrary to make you attack a fucking police officer.
And force them to do something stupid.
Yeah, I don't know if they gotta be, they don't have to be forced. It's just a little whisper. Just do something stupid. Ah, God damn it. Oh! Oh, God. These guys would be great in the Olympics. Don't win. Da da da. I'm skiing and shooting. All right.
It was stupid to vandalize the house.
Did it really? I don't know. Yeah. And the weird thing is nobody told them not to do that, which you'd think would be the thing that would instigate it the most. You know what I mean? If you're using the Ray Epps methodology.
Or the Capitol. It was stupid.
Yes, it was also a crime. So, fuck you?
To riot at the Capitol. It was stupid.
It was stupid to write. I don't know what we were thinking. Dude, you're dangerously getting close to Cenk Uygur saying Hamas using rape as a weapon was unfortunate and dumb. Yeah, he really said that. Unfortunate. Hey, guys, not helpful. I mean, you can kill her, but come on.
And was also falling prey to what I believe was something much more sinister.
Uh-huh. The trap that was laid by the Democrats for decades. Am I very caffeinated? I don't think so. Not particularly. I think, more yesterday, Evie. Actually, I'm just amused, quite frankly. I got to be honest. I just think this is particularly funny.
This is why I'm talking about it.
Well, you're all right. This is a very, we've seen this a couple of times where right-wingers try to dial back the psychos in their fucking crowd by going, guys, don't do anything murderous. They'll use it as an excuse to put you in jail.
I want you to understand something.
Okay. You first. Hold on. I don't know why why is the chat in this always super slow? Is always never want to catch up. I hate it. All right.
The Biden administration would like nothing more than to see a bunch of Texans and beyond head down to Eagle Pass. They would love that.
What? Why? Why? But they can head down to Eagle Pass. Listen to me, Evil Pass. Probably that's what we call it. It's really Evil Pass. They're letting evil pass. Sorry.
They would love for you to head down there and have a massive protest that can be incited through using passion and emotion.
How? Oh, or whispers. They would love you to head down there and be a fucking psychopath so that they can just use the fact that you commit a violent crime to put you in jail. They've got you exactly where they want you.
To do something dumb.
Well, yeah, especially when you could just stay home and do something dumb. You know what I mean? Save the gas. Isn't it super expensive? Isn't gas like $12 a gallon right now?
They would love that because then they would say, see?
See? Obviously gas is cheap enough for these dumb motherfuckers to drive all the way to Eagle Pass.
They're insurrectionists.
No, they're not. Why would we call it an insurrectionist? We just call them a bunch of bigots who are committing acts of violence against people who may at some point in the near future be adjudicated as genuine asylum seekers. What?
They're anti-democracy. And I, Joe Biden, here I am to save the day. I'm going to come in and take.
Why would you need an echo on that? Was there when Mighty Mouse did it? Was there a big echo? I don't think so. Here I come to save the day. I don't think so. I think it was pretty dry, actually. It was like maybe a little bit of a slap back. These were the times of Elvis, after all.
Take over that border. I'm going to take over that park. I'm going to take over this area.
They own the park. It's federal land, stupid.
Because I have to save our democracy. That's what they'll say.
Why? What are you talking about? What? If the federal government ever gets their hands on the park at Eagle Pass, ooh, that's it. Yeah, it's a sweet piece of real estate.
They would love for a bunch of people to head straight down to the border.
Yeah, and keep going, I guess. You know what I mean? Maybe a fair trade. Maybe trade these people who don't understand the nature of America for a bunch of people who are risking their lives to get here and become productive members of our society. Weird.
Load up the pickup truck with guns and all sorts of stuff.
Like what? Pipe bombs, knives, free copies of the Turner Diaries and the whatever the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. All those little Christian pamphlet dollar bill sized books that you can read about the evils of witchcraft in television shows.
Would love to see that.
Well, I mean, it'd be funny. I mean, I got to be honest, I'd prefer another Trump like boat parade, because watching those fuckers sink is so good. It's so good. I don't know that trucks can pull that off. And I don't want the people of Eagle Pass to have to deal with a sinkhole just for my own personal enjoyment.
And I'm here to tell you, don't do it.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Thank you. Great advice from Joey Pags. Don't drive down to the border with a bunch of guns where you can be incited into murdering strangers and your fellow Americans. Good advice. That's great. Also, don't do that at home. Don't, while you're at it. Also, don't do that in your city or your state or someone else's city or someone else's state. Just don't do that in general.
I'm here to tell you, stay calm, keep your powder dry.
Why would I? Oh, so you can shoot later. I see. So it's cool to shoot somebody, just not now. Hold. God damn it, I said hold. Now I done messed up my pants.
No reason to get involved in this at this point.
Right, because it's a vapid, impotent, rageful gesture that won't do fuck all.
Maybe never at any point.
Yes, I agree. Look, if you really want to go to the border and take care of it, I hear the CBP is hiring. Biden got them funding for 1,000 more agents in his budget supplemental that passed. Bad time to bring that up. I'm sorry. That was rude of me. I don't like to dunk on someone when they're being this stupid.
Because we have a constitution that says what it says.
What does it say? Just whip something out. Just one part of it.
Article 4, Section 4 clearly says the federal government will protect states from invasion. The federal government is not doing that.
Well, this isn't an invasion. It's not actually an invasion. And technically speaking, a lot of the people that you're most worried about aren't coming to Texas to be terrorists. In theory, if they're terrorists coming across the southern border, I don't want to insult the people of Texas and New Mexico and Southern California. But I got to be honest, if they're terrorists, they're more than likely heading to L.A., Seattle, Chicago, or New York. No offense. And not that you don't have some buildings that couldn't be imploded, just because they suck. I get it. You know what I mean? You drive by it on your way into town, you go, oh, wait, somebody fly a Piper Cub into that fucking thing when it's empty. But I'd like, oh man, that would be nice. And we could put something up that looks a little shiny. I don't know. This just looks like shit. You know, they built it in the early 70s, late 60s when everything was fucking, they were like competing with the commies. And I fucking hate this fucking thing. And I wish they would just, but they don't. The terrorists, they just, as in the immortal words of George Carlin, what do you think that they're going to do? Hang around? Check real estate trends? Bullshit. They're gone.
So what is Texas doing very wisely?
Trading with Mexico as their primary trade partner. And that's not what you're going to bring up. I'm sorry. I did because, I'm just bringing it because Mexico and Texas are like this. They're like this. that helps. And then they take turns who's on top.
They're going to court. The Supreme Court did not make some ruling in the case of Texas v. Biden or the...
You're right. They just said, nah, I can stand. Fuck off.
Article 4, Section 4 case that Texas is bringing against the federal government.
Yeah, that's because they didn't prove there's an invasion. It's just a lot of people. Also, I got to tell you guys, the word invasion has to, for all the fucking stuff about a man is a man and a woman's a woman and words mean something, and these dumbasses are like, an invasion. It's a slightly obese lady dragging her 3 kids, guys with guns. What's the difference?
That hasn't been decided. It's in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. The only thing that was decided
is that fuck you. Is that the stay holds because they haven't proved their case.
Was that the DHS can go and cut the wire and remove it if they want. Kerry says there's a story out now says that Border Patrol has no plans to remove it. Don't fall for the okie doke.
Which is what? Being presented by right-wingers who are organizing these Facebook groups and heading down there. So by the way, I think the ultimate message of this, if I may, and I think that I can, Bosch from Temu, is it wrong? Can we call him Temu Bosch from now on? Sorry. Hey, look, if people can call me Danzig and a dryer, you guys can fuck right off. Temu Bosch. I mean, come on. All right, that's... But CSL, I gotta say, the 22, I see, all right. CSL, we have to put Temu Bosch has advice for maggots as the name of the clip for this one. As long as it has a picture of his face, I think it's a winning. I don't normally backseat drive the thumbnails, but I feel like that would work. He looks happy though. He looks like he's having a good time.
Don't fall for this game that's being played. Learn the lesson of January 6th.
Yes, don't shit in the Capitol, and when you're already losing, don't double down, you loser.
Because the people...
Also, don't listen to Donald Trump, ever.
People who are peacefully having their voices heard on January 6th
went that way.
Right.
You mean the people who left?
The Republicans in the House and Senate that were going to challenge and investigate were right.
Except for the ones who might have been involved in the laying of the fake bombs, but we'll work that out later.
They were stopped in their tracks because they were made to look like insurrectionists.
No, they were aiding and abetting insurrectionists, and it became abundantly clear over the course of the day.
They were stopped in their tracks because they were made to look like they were against democracy.
They were against democracy. They had lost every legal challenge on that particular day. Even in the case where, because, again, Gore won Florida by like 500 votes. But Democrats, because at that point, at the point of certification, they hadn't established that, so they moved on. And then you can argue that the Supreme Court, interjected themselves in this, stopped the count, and therefore pushed Bush over. But them's the rules. That's the certification day. All the states have counted them. The fucking government doesn't get to go back and reestablish control, move beyond the powers of the republic, and tell states, the president of the United States can't dictate what a state's electors are, which is what happened on that day. That's what he was trying to fucking do. And I thought you guys were for small government and local blah, blah, blah.
They were stopped in their tracks because they were able to be painted by those who I believe incited them as the enemy.
So they're not responsible for their own actions then? So I guess we can just blame, let all the rioters that have been arrested for arson, murder, or vandalism, or assault from the George Floyd riots, I guess we can let them out because Derek Chauvin made them. he incited it. You know what I mean? They're thinking about what he did and said and shit while they were doing it. So they wouldn't have done it otherwise, right? You think any of them, without that incident, you think any of them would have just burnt down a fucking Target for the shit of it? I mean, granted, Trump was president at the time, so there's a lot, I suppose there are a lot of reasons to. There's never any reason.
Don't fall for it again.
All right.
Do it.
I want to, though.
You want to head down there, get a hotel, and watch.
Well, it's why, you know. If you like to watch, that's your thing. I would go with an Airbnb, though. You know, a little comfort.
Do not march. Do not chant.
Do not bring tiki torches. Now you can bring tiki torches. You're not So basically, you're not recommending that they do the same thing they did in, say, Charlottesville. You know, like another version of Charlottesville where you just kind of like swap the word Jews for like Mexicans or something, right?
Do not incite. Don't listen to people trying to get you going.
No. Mm-mm. Does that include 976 numbers? I guess not, because you like to watch, and that's auditory.
Don't bring a bunch of guns. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Don't do it. Not a good idea. Wouldn't be prudent. Don't do it. Don't drive down there. Don't visit Texas, and don't bring a bunch. We have guns here. You don't have to bring any. There's so many laying around. Shit. Some people, if you need a gun, you just go out to the side of their house because they use them to hold up the foundation.
No, I'm not telling you not to have guns. I'm not telling you not to stand up for what's right versus what's wrong.
Apparently you are. All right. Shit. Come on now. God damn it. It's Jim Pembry now, god damn it. Fuck it. I'm just going to do the opposite of whatever he fucking says for America. Son of a bitch. We're getting, where's my, I don't have a gun. Will it, let's see. Will a large rotating sex toy that comes with a trigger, will that suffice in the face? You fucking, let's do this. If he says don't go, that's code for go. Operation Patriot Eagle Pass Missile. Operation Kidney Stone for America. Yeah, we're going to wear all these hats, and we're going to go down there, and we're all going to wear Hawaiian shirts and khaki pants and masks, and we'll all mask our guns, our guns as sex toys, dual use, but. And then if nothing happens, we can just head back to the Airbnb and pull the shades.
But there is nowhere near a civil war going on right now.
Fuck. Honey, call it off. God damn it. Hey, what the fuck did I buy all that pancake batter for? That Glenn Beck is full of shit, man. It's easy for you to say, sitting in your fancy studio. Now I got to go eat 65 4-gallon drums of beans alone. Thanks a lot, Dream Killer. I saw that hat in the closet earlier, my shit, and I was like, oh, that's got to come out. I had no idea I'd have a chance to use it this quickly. All right.
You have half the country, 25 states.
Yeah, from the waist down.
That are backing Texas right now in its legal fight against the Biden administration.
Yeah, but they're also the states with the fewest people. Sorry, it's the beans.
Let that play out. That's a massive show of force.
So, sorry, what'd you say? Was it, did you just say trust the courts? Is he basically, am I reading this wrong? You're just saying trust the courts, and everything will be fine. That's where you're going with this? Cool.
More than half, so 26 including Texas. More than half the country is
Well, no. Half the states. More than half the states. Nowhere near half the fucking country.
saying, dude, this is an invasion. Enough already. And they want to support Texas in the court case. They want to support Texas, who has every right to continue putting down more razor wire if they want, even if the DHS removes it.
Yeah. Yeah, the DHS will remove it because the federal government has a much bigger budget. And you guys can keep laying it out. We'll keep pulling it up and cutting it, putting it away so it doesn't injure women and children and people who are coming across. And we'll just arrest them and like fucking adults and treat this like the immigration issue it is instead of a quote unquote invasion. And therefore somebody won't be injured and caught up in it and then sue the United States and the state of Texas. And we're saving you fuckers money.
Don't fall for the okie doke.
That's not an okie doke. That's what? I don't know why he's describing this as an.
To use Kamala Harris's own word, don't. Because what they would love to see is a reason to paint those who are correct today as the bad guys.
Well, they wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't go down there and fucking kill somebody or act like an asshole. And if you do go down there and kill somebody and act like an asshole, then you are the bad guy, dummy. That's how you know. You get judged by your works.
They would love to be able to say, see, we told you, MAGA bad.
Yeah, but we would use, better English.
Let this play out in court. Texas has the upper hand.
Well, I'm glad you trust the courts. I think that's great. Fabulous. I mean, again, progress in and of itself.
I believe Texas will win in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and then Biden will, or the administration will, appeal to the Supreme Court, who I think will do the right thing, having the actual case in front of them. I hope that you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I do, but I'm not your primary audience. The people that are your primary audience, you are clearly worried that they're already packing and they've shut you off 10 minutes ago.
They would love to see a repeat of January 6th.
No. For the record, no. Not at all. Fuck you. Also, there's no such thing as a repeat of January 6th on the fucking southern border at the park at Eagle Pass. That's not a repeat of January 6th. That's a bunch of that might be the closest thing is fucking Waco.
At the border.
Operation Okie Doke. That's great.
Because then they get to take over. The more you can
take over. We voted him in. That's how you take over.
Paint any sort of an uprising that doesn't align with them, because they didn't care about the uprising in the Summer of Love. They don't care about Antifa. They don't care about BLM.
Well, because our presidential candidate, for example, is okay about being against fascism and arguing the point about Black Lives mattering to everyone and that they should matter on a philosophical and political sense without aligning yourself with the particular actions of a group or just excusing all of it the way Trump goes, MAGA, it's just MAGA, and MAGA. Anybody who calls themselves MAGA, whatever you do is fine with me. MAGA is shit in the rotunda and fucking beat up a cop. MAGA, all MAGA is good. Just call yourself MAGA and you're fine. Like that's the issue.
No, if people are rising up to support more freedom and that the Constitution really still means something, they're looking for a reason.
By violating the Constitution? Novel approach. Checkmate.
To shut that down. Don't give them the reason.
No, I would never do that. Jan 6 remake, Greenwald, Destiny debate. Oh, God.
No. And saying, like, no, I'm not.
Oh, fuck off. Not interested. Let's see. By the way, hi, chat room. Love you guys. What's happening? Let's a lot of curious shit today. Oh God. I'm sorry. Here it comes. Brace yourselves. Brace yourself. Brace yourself. That is rough. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm ready. I'll let you know when I am. I will say this. If any of you in the crowd you ever have a chance to be a billionaire and you're old and you start to look like this, I would say you have my permission to get a neck lift. Because honest to God, that's a fucking hate crime. Don't know why. This is Forbes put this clip up. It's kind of a best of, I think, of Trump. These are the first things I'll do on my first day back at this campaign rally from Saturday, so we don't have to do the whole thing. This is what his plan will be. Here we go.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office,
Jesus.
shortly after we win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I'll get it done fast. I know them both.
I know them both. I know what they want. The Ukrainians don't want to die. The Russians want to kill them. So I'll just let the Russians kill them and then scare the Ukrainians and let them have the whole thing. I'll talk to. By the way, Zelensky invited him over. Go explain the fucking plan. Obviously, he hasn't taken him up on it. And the Russians even put out a thing like, we don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He couldn't stop this in a day. He's talking out of his ass.
And we will restore on this planet peace through earth.
Sure. With a giant cutting laser in space? Peace through Earth. Motherfucker. Come on. Ah, God. I heard about this one, but I didn't get to watch it. Peace through Earth.
And we will restore on this planet peace through earth.
Well, if anybody can do it, he can. Because none of us know what the fuck you're talking about. Peace through Earth, goodwill on moon.
I am the only candidate who can make this promise to you. I will prevent World War III, and we're very close to World War III.
Well, if we're that close, how can you prevent it? You're still, like, how could a candidate even, if we're this close?
Very close to World War III.
Well, then how can you prevent it? What are you going to do? Throw yourself on the grenade or enlist, Mr. Bone Spurs?
And on day one, I will end crooked Joe Biden's insane electric vehicle mandate.
I will set us on a path back to the Model T as fast as I can.
They weren't working too well in Iowa. It was 40 degrees below zero, and you get into an electric car and you hear a buzzing. I said, "What's that, sir?" It works in zero, but you start getting below zero.
Really? What were you, hitchhiking? Did you? You just got in the car and you just walk up and knock on somebody's window? Can I sit in your car? You look warm. What's that noise? It makes that noise when it's this cold.
And you had those cars all over the place. It would be a good time to take one. You could have taken one. You could have had all you wanted.
Just steal cars. If they don't work, yeah, I think the best time probably to steal a car is right after a big EMP. You know what I mean? When everybody has abandoned them in the streets, like a disaster movie. And there's just all these cars laying around. You know what I mean? They don't roll and you can't start them. But that's the best time to steal a car is when it won't run. Is this what this is? Was this whole fucking... Are they fucking with him? Or was this whole... because we didn't do this one because we've had enough. But, is every sentence this stupid? Just one right after the other? Usually you have to wait like 5 semi-normal sentences between stuff, or at least what poses as normal, I suppose, in his vocabulary, but
it wasn't. They were not working too well in Iowa. Think of that. We voted on a day where it was 40 below zero, and we had a tremendous vote. It was like, those people are hardy people. Somebody said they're very hardy.
Is that what they said? Very Laurel, very hardy people.
The people of Iowa are very hardy indeed. They voted
Are they? How many did you eat? Jesus Christ! What'd you do? Make soup out of their heads?
in record numbers, and I will end.
Yes, yes. Record low turnout. Congratulations, 14%. Yeah, great. You did. Yeah, bang up job.
His American energy war. It's a war on American energy. It's a war.
Really? Well, shit. Then energy is winning because we literally are an all-time high of oil and gas output.
Just yesterday, Biden blocked the export of American natural gas to other countries.
Right, because they don't need it anymore.
You know, he doesn't want plants built in the United States, even though
He doesn't want plants built in the United States. That's the reason. All right. You know what? Occasionally, where you're like, okay, they've given him a talking point to run with, or it's his own personal take on it. This is just fucking gibberish. Okay. Fact sheet. Biden-Harris administration announces temporary pause on pending approvals. Pause on pending approvals of liquefied natural gas exports. President Biden has been clear that climate change is the existential threat of our time, and we must act with urgency. The urgency demands to protect the future for generations to come. That's why, since day one, President Biden has led and delivered on the most ambitious climate agenda in history, which is lowering energy costs for hardworking Americans, creating millions of good jobs, and safeguarding the health of our communities, and ensuring America leads in clean energy. Today, Biden-Harris administration is announcing a temporary pause on pending decisions on exports of liquefied natural gas to non-FTA countries until the Department of Energy can update the underlying analysis for authorizations. The current economic and environmental analysis DOE uses Department of Energy to underpin its LNG, liquefied natural gas, export authorizations are roughly 5 years old and no longer adequately account for considerations like potential energy cost increases for American consumers and manufacturers beyond current authorizations or the latest assessment of the impact of greenhouse gas emissions. Today, we have an evolving understanding of the market need for LNG, the long-term supply of LNG, and the perilous impacts of methane on our planet. We also must adequately guard against the risks to the health of our communities, especially frontline communities in the United States who disproportionately shoulder the burden of pollution from new export facilities. The pause, which is subject to exception for unanticipated and immediate national security emergencies, will provide the time to integrate these critical considerations. The U.S. is already the #1 exporter of LNG worldwide, with U.S. LNG exports expected to double by the end of this decade. At the same time, the U.S. remains unwavering in our commitment to supporting our allies around the world. Today's announcement will not impact our ability to continue supplying LNG to our allies in the near term. Last year, roughly half of U.S. LNG exports went to Europe, and the U.S. has worked with the EU to successfully economize consumption and manage its storage to ensure that unprovoked acts of aggression cannot threaten its supply. Furthermore, in 2022, EU and U.S. pledged to work toward the goal of ensuring additional LNG volumes for the EU market, with the U.S. exceeding our annual delivery targets to the EU in each of the past 2 years through existing LNG production and export infrastructure. The U.S. has and will continue to deliver for our allies. The key would be this part right here. To non-FTA countries. I need to get up here and find this thing. Give me 1 second. Now, I'm going to show you what FTA means. Some of you may already know. But I'm going to show you and see if you can guess why, selling liquid natural gas to countries that are non-FTA might be a bad thing. FTA countries are countries that have free trade agreements with each other. Some examples are Australia, Bahrain, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic. if they don't have an agreement to do trade, then we're not sending them the gas. If they don't have open trade between us, we're not going to support their regimes because we were sending it to some countries that ain't so good. And it's one of the few areas where we can use some leverage to make them open their markets so that they're not closed and trying to screw everybody else. Remember that whole thing about Trump, like, we have stupid people making these deals, these stupid people. Not anymore.
That's the best thing you could do. This stuff has been worked on for years. I approved many of them. We got many built in Louisiana and other places, but he stopped it. Now, why?
No, he didn't. He stopped it only for non-free trade agreement. Like anybody we have a trade agreement with or anybody that has open trade agreements with our partners, you can do that.
He stopped it. I guess it was the environmentalists, I guess.
Well, then why don't you fucking read it? I don't know. You don't have to guess. They wrote it down.
But it's good for the environment, not bad, and good for our country. I will approve the export terminals on my very first day back. I'm going to be signing so many different mandates on my first day back. All of
Right, because you're not going to be able to pass any legislation, and none of it's going to hold up.
that stuff, all of that stuff will be approved. I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to invest.
Also, by the time he would get in office, and he won't, but by the time he would get in office, the review process would have already ended, and we would establish the rules again, and shit would start flowing to these other countries.
Investigate every radical, out-of-control prosecutor in America for their illegal racist in reverse
He means for attacking him.
enforcement of the law.
Black people attacking, black on orange crime is what he's concerned with.
And I'm also going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong action on crime. We don't want crime. These cities are crazy what's going on. Hundreds of people yesterday walked into a department store and
Yesterday? Where was this?
just walked out with everything.
They did, and the cops just handed them a card?
The store now, the store is going to close.
Really? I guess they're going to have to just to repaint.
5 years ago, they were all pushing for this store to open. They opened. Now people are just walking in and.
What are the irony that this is a store that opened during the Trump administration and everybody wanted it, and then during Biden, right while you're campaigning in New Hampshire, 100 people ran in, stole everything there, and then that store that opened while you were president had to close. What are the odds?
Robbing it. You can solve that in 1 hour.
No, you can't.
All you do is 1 hour. You have to treat the first one out the door of the next time it happens extremely tough.
Okay, so what you have is these klepto gangs. All they have to do is, the minors, they'll sometimes bring along kids, 12, 13, 14 years old. You find a 12-year-old in the group, and you make sure he leaves the store first so that your MAGA thug psychos kill a child, and everybody learns, just the first guy out of the store has to be a fucking idiot and somebody you don't mind parting with, because while they're beating the shit out of him, you can get away.
That means anything you want to do.
No, it doesn't. No, you can. That's why we have police and not military in our streets. You're a fucking lunatic. This is crazy. Nobody believes that. Fuck off. Anything you want to do. I bought this shit. Bullshit. You're with that crowd. I have a receipt. That's what they. Yeah, you can put. Yeah, we'll put. You had a receipt on your tombstone, you dumb dead motherfucker.
And as soon as that word gets out, and you let people know.
The next time they come, they'll come armed, and then people will be having gunfights over fucking lip balm and shampoo.
From now on, you don't walk out with aspirin. I have a building on 40 Wall Street, and we lost.
Yeah, it's 10 floors shorter than you say it is. Or is that the one in? Yeah, that's the one.
A big company, the big drug company where they sell drugs, drugstore.
Yeah, I would ask Doc Ronnie. He's the drug specialist.
And
fentanyl, the fentanyl store that you ran out of there, the Fentanyl or Us.
I called the people. I said, "What happened?" He said, The people steal everything off the shelves. We have to build last.
You know, they steal everything out there. We're on the 13th floor of this fucking building, and I swear to God, we're like the only ones in here. The lights never work. And then we come back in, and everybody stole all our drugs. All our Ambien is gone. Our fentanyl is gone. All our morphine is gone. Our Provigil is gone. And we're like, where the fuck did our stuff go? And, you know, there's Stephen and Jason Miller, no relation, standing outside the door going, I have no fucking, honest to God, I'll ask Mr. Trump, and I don't know.
They built glass containers on the shelves. They're still. This is not just New York. All over the place. It's like a new form of crime. They walk in, they just take a bag, and
it's not a new form of crime. Smash and grab's been around for a long time. They're big in the 90s.
Some of these places, they don't prosecute you unless it's more than $2,000. In other words, you could take $2,000, anything more than that. But even that, they won't do anything. Guys walk in with bags. They go like this. They push everything into the bag, and they walk out the store.
Fucking Santa, am I right?
And they actually had an employee that got into a fight with one of these guys, and the company fired the employee for doing that.
Yeah, because it was going to cost them more than the goods.
What is wrong with our country? What's wrong with our patriotism?
I'm sorry, did he beat him up with a flag? Was the guy stealing a flag, or was just big bottles of fucking like ointment?
We're going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope, safety, and beauty better than they've ever been before.
And let me guess, your family will get all the contracts, but you know, because they earned them, not because you gave them to yourself.
We will help them in crime because we're not going to let them be crime-ridden monsters.
Chicago! All right.
And we will take over our horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C., and clean it up, renovate it, rebuild our capital so that it's no longer a nightmare of murder and crime, but rather it will become the most beautiful capital anywhere in the world,
It's a pretty beautiful capital, I gotta say. Like it, you know, like any city, it has its issues or whatever, but like all the actual, like the Capitol and Smithsonian, the White House and all those areas, they look really good. I mean, you'll occasionally have some people spray painting shit, but it doesn't look like I mean, this motherfucker acts like the White House looks like one of the buildings in Rumble in the Bronx.
It was once before, you know. We didn't have...
Or the Protector, if you want to go like really deep into Jackie Chan movies. Welcome to New York. Are you out of your fucking mind blowing up the harbor like that? That man killed my partner.
Have the problem with it's.
By the way, that was a dead-on Jackie Chan. Killed it. I nailed it. And if you've seen that movie, you know it. And if you haven't seen that movie, when you see it, you'll go, oh my fucking God.
It's happened over the last couple of years, but 2 nights ago, 3 people were shot. They walked out. They come in from Nebraska.
Okay, yeah, that's what got them. Were they wearing Nebraska stuff?
They come in from all over the country.
Did they Nebraska the wrong guy for directions? Sorry.
3 people are shot. They just shot.
Just shot for being from Nebraska. God.
They don't even know.
What is this, the Wild West?
Why? They just shot.
They just shot. They don't even know why. They just shot. Just shot. They were just, nobody knows why. They shorted the guy for the drugs they were buying, but nobody knows. I mean, what was yeah, we know that's the reason, but what's the deeper emotional motive?
And people don't want to go there anymore.
Nebraska or where?
It's our capital. We will
in Washington, D.C. I see. So the people from Nebraska got shot in D.C. Mm-hmm.
We'll treat those people, when we catch them, we'll catch them rougher than any people have ever been treated. And it'll all stop. It'll all stop.
What the fuck are you talking about? Wait, rougher than anyone's been treated? Look, I know you're not exactly a history buff. You know, a collection of Hitler speeches is not exactly, you know, a sort of map of the past. But people have been treated pretty badly by other people throughout history. There's a lot of examples. A lot of this. I mean, in general. I mean, I was going to go back to the fucking Spanish Inquisition, but look at what Hamas did on October 7th, you fucking creep.
It's got to stop. Nobody wants to go there.
I want to go there. I like going to D.C. We're going to go back to D.C. I've been there for my birthday the last 3 years.
And we will take all of the graffiti off the marble, and we will clean up the roads and rebuild the roads, and we will put medians in that aren't falling down all over.
Yeah, the medians. Yeah, you don't want medians falling down all over the place because, those medians.
All over the asphalt.
Well, where are they going to fall? I mean, the whole road is asphalt. I mean, how tall would they have to be to fall and hit the sidewalk? I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I know you like walls, but in between lanes?
I went there about a month ago for one of the Biden trials. You know, I got so many trials. I said, which one is it, sir? That's number 14. That's what they're doing. I got so many trials. So I'm going in. I'm going to
You don't have 14 trials. You have 91 charges. You got four criminal trials, 3 criminal trials, right? No, 4 criminal trials, and then like 3 civil things. Yeah, so 7, half as many. So that's why he said 14, because he doubles everything. Okay, that makes sense. That's Trump math.
federal courthouse, which is in bad shape, very bad shape.
No, it isn't. It looks great.
But going there, I'm riding over paper that's been laying on the roadway. These are the major roads into Washington, D.C.
Oh my God, what? I don't want to go to D.C. anymore. There's paper on the road? When did this happen? That's terrible. I mean, it's I don't even think, how does it hold up the cars?
Paper that's been laying there for 6 months.
Oh my God. I think we should, whatever that paper is made of, we should do some tests because that's incredible. People have been driving on that paper and it's still there after 6 months. That's some fucking paper. I'm just saying. I mean, I would hate to get a gift on Christmas that's wrapped in that shit because you'd never fucking, God damn it. I could hear it rattling in there and I want it so bad, but this fucking paper. Somebody run over this with the car for 8 months straight.
Cans.
Cans. Blech.
Garbage.
Cans and garbage. I can't wait for him to play the Weeping Indian in the old 70s ad. Just tear. It's glycerin, but you get the point. Look at that. You know, feel like Pocahontas.
I say, can you imagine the median? You know, the median, the metal crap that they have.
Yeah, the metal crap,
It's
sure.
always, it's falling down before you even build the stuff. Somebody.
It's falling down before you even build the stuff. What?
Somebody's a good lobbyist, but it's always falling down. I could ask Robert, what the hell is wrong with that stuff? You know.
Nobody knows. Who's Robert? What are you talking about?
Exactly what I'm talking about.
No, he doesn't. He has no idea. I don't. They don't.
The day they put it up, it must be the sun, the heat, something.
Yeah, sun and heat. That's really bad on metal. Yeah. A lot of people think that the planes weren't even the reason the towers fell down. It was all the sunlight. You know, everybody thought they should have put 2 big umbrellas on top of those fucking things. It would have made them stay up. Or at least when they did fall, they would just kind of float to the ground. He's making me nuts. This is so stupid. I'm becoming a crazy person. This is what happens. This is what happens. He said to no one. I said to no one there, just a chair.
It also gets hit, and it's laying out on the roads. And I'm saying, can you imagine you're the prime minister, you're the king or the queen of a country, you're the...
Yeah. You mean most of the places, by the way, that have kings or queens, and the vast majority of countries that have kings or queens, you have called those places shitholes, just for the record.
You're president of a country, and you're driving in, and you're driving over garbage to get to the White House or get to the Capitol.
and you're like, wow, the garbage stops at one point right before you get to the Capitol's very nice or whatever. In my country, the garbage, I mean, we built the Capitol out of garbage. You guys are lucky.
And you see roads that are in worse shape than most countries have.
Also, again, most countries don't have roads. Not of any, not any major roads or whatever. I would just say it. You're talking the number of countries that exist on the earth. There's a lot more dirt roads than there are roads in the world, even still.
Roads that have potholes all over them.
Oh, all over them. You know what I mean? That's disgusting. It's like having big open sores on your hands. That's embarrassing. You don't want potholes all over your index finger and your palm and that. Oh.
You see graffiti all over the white marble columns. This is what's happening in our...
Well, I mean, I'm assuming they're white. I can't tell underneath all the graffiti.
In our great Washington, D.C. We're going to take over Washington, D.C. We're going to federalize it. We're going to have the toughest law
It is federalized.
enforcement in the country. We're not going to have any more crime, and it's going to look beautiful. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to...
Again, this will you do realize that at some point a maggot is going to show up in DC in this fantasy version where he's the president with a gun to show how much he loves the president. He's going to fire some shots off in front of the White House, and they're going to Gitmo that motherfucker in 2 seconds flat because that's the policy.
cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content.
So Kimberly Guilfoyle won't be able to talk anymore at the schools? They're just going to cancel all those things? That's...
To our children. And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, you will. All schools have a vaccine mandate. Unless you want a fucking measles and whooping cough to kill every fucking newborn and toddler and elementary school kid in the fucking country.
And something I can't believe I have to say, but I guess I do.
You don't. You don't.
Because who would have thought even 10 years ago this was necessary? Because
I don't know. Yeah, 10 years ago, you were still hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. So, life's crazy.
there are politicians that think this is a wonderful policy because they're not smart people or there's something going on.
One or the other. Probably something's going on. What's going on?
I will keep men out of women's sports. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Well, for the record, he promises made, promises kept. This man has never engaged in a sport in his whole life. He's not only keeping men out of women's sports, he's keeping men out of a lot of sports just by not participating. This is just stupid, by the way. Please don't take the bait, as Joey Pags would say.
Can you imagine weightlifting? You ever see the difference?
Oh God, he's gonna do the fucking. He thinks he loves throwing this bit in because he thinks they love it when he does this bit. It's the same as when he jacks off 2 people at once and calls it dancing.
Weightlifter.
They
broke the record by I think 142 pounds. The record
anyway
stood for 18 years. They couldn't break it. A quarter of an ounce here, a quarter of an. They couldn't get it. This guy comes along. Have you ever lifted before? No, I haven't. Oh, he broke the record by like 142 pounds. I don't.
By the way, this is more about how weak Donald Trump thinks women are. Just for the record, this has nothing to do with transgender people. Like, I mean, it does because he's icked by it and he's a fucking asshole. But let's be abundantly clear: this asshole thinks that any male in any shape, even his shitty shape, this is him. This is his ego. He's pretty sure if a woman can lift it, he can lift it no matter how much work that woman has done. So he's pretty sure he could just fucking, whatever that is, I don't know what the fuck that is, burp, that's it.
That record will stand a long time. You know, if we ever get it straight, and we will, because I'm going to sign right away. But if
right away? What are you going to do? set a federal standard for all states in terms of whether or not trans people can be involved in sports, and what does that look like? Besides draconian bullshit that would never stand up to a constitutional challenge, what's the language on that particular executive order sound like?
That's straight.
Besides just bigoted horseshit.
Women are going to look back and they're going to say, who the hell was it that is 142 pounds more? So we're going to have to bring back those records, I think. What do you think? Yes? Yeah. Because those records aren't going to be broken within the next 100 years by the women. How about the swimmers, where you look at the swimmers, all these great swimmers, and all of a sudden this woman against a guy who's he looks like he's got the wingspan of the great Wilt Chamberlain, right?
Also, just randomly of all the basketball players he thinks of, he tries to pick the one who's the best known, like the biggest philanderer in basketball history.
And he jumps into that pool, and the young women left and right, they're badly injured by the wind as he goes by. They get windburn. I will fully...
Windburn? Would you make some sort of tidal wave reference? Well, I'm not going to make it.
Uphold the Second Amendment, and I did a great job in doing that. I will never...
Yeah, you stopped all those attacks that never happened.
Never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency, which is a big thing because they'll take all your money. They'll take all of your money, Don.
Don Jr.? Is that his kid? Yeah, because this, by the way, Don, I think he is talking to it. That might be Don Jr. in the front, but Don Jr. is very fixated on this central bank digital currency. And the reason is because if that actually occurs and there's sort of a digital version where the government establishes its own Bitcoin, it will fucking flatten all the Bitcoins in the world. And they'll all link to the U.S. central bank digital currency because of its stability. And that'll be that. And they're like, fuck, there goes the greater sucker investment that I was doing.
And you won't know what the hell happened to my money. Of course, the court systems here like to do that, too. They do it. That's like communism, you know?
No, it isn't.
Sort of when you think it's like a communist move, but digital currency, what do you see? But
why would communists don't need digital currency? You just get the stuff. There's no currency. You just work in the factory and get the food and go to the house they set you up in, and it's fucking... It's like living in a sim.
Get rid of that. We will protect innocent life and we will restore free...
Unless, of course, you're walking out of a drugstore while it's being shoplifted and you've got an armload of shit because you put off shopping like I do, and you're walking out with your arms wrapped around all your stuff because the bag broke, and they're like, get him, make an example of him. And you're like, what? Right.
Speech. And I will secure the elections like never have been secured before.
Like never have been secured before. Like am not good at say words. In order with also necessary word between word that also fits in wordings of talk. Also, how are you going to do that if you couldn't secure it when you were president and the person that wasn't in office kicked your ass? You think, well, you lie, but whatever. Let's run on your premise that they cheated and they got in. You couldn't stop them when you were president. What the fuck makes you think you could stop them when you're not president anymore? What the living shit?
Because if we don't have fair and honest elections, and if we don't have border security, if we don't have strong borders and strong elections, we don't have a country. We don't have a country.
But we do have streaming television. I mean, honestly, and that's about 80% of our democracy right now. I mean, I got to be honest. You know, a lot of. I mean, as long as you got Uber Eats, I suppose, right?
And remember when I used to talk about the wall? I built this tremendous amount of wall. That's why we.
That doesn't work, and also required access road, which is what everybody is walking down, and why we're having more people cross than ever before.
Had the best record, but they used to say walls.
Also, he didn't. The Biden administration deported more people last year than Trump did at any point during his presidency.
We don't need walls. We need things flying up in the air. No, you need walls because there's only two.
We need things flying up in the air. And you going to specify or just things? Just things? Frisbees, maybe? That's what we need. That's Democrats. He's saying build that wall, and we're like, stacks of Frisbees. We just like, this will keep them busy. Here you go. There you go. Chase that, dum-dum. What?
Two things in history that work long-term. Everything else is obsolete.
Oh, my God. Walls and wheels.
You do a new computer, it's obsolete in like 3 days.
No, They last a lot longer than 3 days. It might feel like 3 days, but yeah.
Walls and wheels.
Right. Also, just may I, roofs and axles, especially when it comes to wheels. I got to say, a wheel, fabulous, fabulous work. Great. Very impressive. I think we're all very impressed watching it roll down the hill. It's incredible the way it stays up like a quarter before it starts going wow, 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 wow. But I got to say, the axle, really the big deal there. Because just a wheel and having another wheel, it's okay. You can make a wheelbarrow, that's true, but you still need an axle, don't you? Still need that little thing in the center of it that it can rotate around. I gotta say, in that, the axle is kind of the important thing. Also, when it comes to walls, ceiling's kind of important. I just gotta say, you can surround your place with walls, but if they're catapulting, dead animals, full of botulinum over the wall, you're kind of fucked. And some asshole comes along with a trumpet, you're done.
You always have walls and wheels. A wall has worked for a long time.
Except when it didn't. I mean, that whole Jericho thing.
Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots and voter ID.
Great. Free ID for everybody. Federal ID. I'm for it. Get that done.
But until then, Republicans, you have to win, Republicans. Go out and...
How are you going to win if it's rigged and anybody can vote, for months and, beforehand? How? You didn't last time. Also, if it was rigged in 2020 and Biden was running in it and now he's in charge, wouldn't it be more rigged in 2022 for the midterms? I mean, how do any Republicans with good conscience claim that it was voter fraud if they actually won after you lost? It's weird. It's almost like they're calling you an asshole.
When we get in there, we're changing it around. We're going to get
change it around. Flip it over.
rid of all the stuff. Paper ballots, they make special paper today. It's incredible.
It is good paper. It's great paper. That's I've heard the paper is so good you can drive over it for months and it doesn't even get stained.
Crazy, but it's incredible. Watermark.
They should make the medians out of that stuff because it's better than metal. Also, watermarks, he said.
Ballots, they make special paper today. It's incredible. It sounds crazy, but it's incredible. Watermark. And it's...
Is that the brand? Yes, they're all watermarked. That's already part of it. Stupid.
Good. And some governors are doing it. Some of the Republican governors have actually already started it.
Yeah, all the Democratic governors have been doing it for a long time. I don't know why did it take so long for the Republicans to catch up.
And number one, you're going to save a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, because it's cheap. Yeah, really good paper is cheap, but that shitty toilet paper that comes from China full of panda jizz is very expensive.
About 9% the cost of doing it the other way.
What's the other way?
If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States and
you would smell worse than all of them combined, including the fact that they're dead.
Added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as crooked Joe Biden and the Biden.
Well, technically, Joe hasn't done any destruction to the country, so. And?
Biden administration have done. He's destroying our country.
Well, if you have to say it like that, then clearly people need convincing. You say it a lot. I would think it would be kind of obvious, right? You wouldn't, if he was really destroying the country, you'd kind of know, right? You'd kind of, everywhere you go, everything you do would, it'd be like, I don't know, summer of 2020, all the time, everywhere. Like the whole country would look like Portland. #RIP Portland.
So if you want to save America, then get everyone you know out to vote in the Nevada caucuses on Thursday, February 8th.
Also, she's not in the Nevada caucuses. He's by himself there. The fact that the only reason I can think he's actually giving this speech, besides he just likes these assholes to applaud for him, is that he can write off the trip on the campaign and finance his tower by bringing donor money to the tower, like for his stay. He'd charge himself rent.
And it's very important for you to help educate all of our supporters that we're not talking about the government-run universal mail-in ballots. We don't want mail-in ballots. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't even love me, but I appreciate you saying it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to know what love is. I'm afraid I might find out.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Please shut up. I'll lose my place. And if I get distracted, I won't be able to find my way back to the teleprompter. And then I'll do the snake, and you're all going to regret it.
Don't go on Tuesday, February 6th. That's 2 days earlier.
Yeah, what kind of an asshole goes on the 6th?
Don't do it. Don't use a
Don't do it.
mail-in ballot. Don't do anything. It's a meaningless event. Totally. There are no delegates. It's a con job. We could have done it, but we really wanted to do it the right way and the legitimate way. And so don't do the 6th, do the 8th.
Oh my God. The Republicans just wanted to have a caucus instead of a primary because they like to bully their supporters. That's why.
Caucus, not the primary. The primary is meaningless. I don't know. Maybe they'll try and use it for public relations purposes. Every time Trump supporters and they need something, they have to go. What you have to do is.
Every time Trump supporters ask me for something, I say, fuck you. Oh, wait, that's not. Every time, if you support Trump and you need to try to. I'll back up and try it again. There, you don't give a kick.
Caucus on February 8th. It's the only way you can vote for President Trump. So caucus on February 8th.
Yeah, and once you've done that, you're done for the year. You don't even have to try again. I'm kidding.
And if you need any details, February.
I don't really. I'm good.
8th. If you have any details or need anything, it's N.
If I have any details, oh wait, I can call in with details. I have some details. Is there a special? Wait, what's the number?
Donald J. Trump. Did you ever hear of him? .com.
Jesus Christ! It's the state abbreviation .yourname.com. Why is that hard? That's it. That's the end of it. NV. Dot. Donald J. Trump. .com. Yeah, that's it's fabulous. It's great work. It's very impressed. I think you're all impressed. I'm impressed, and I'm impressed with you, chat room. By the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up if you feel like it, if you can, and shit. I don't have time for I have so many videos, and I'm not gonna have enough time. And I went long last night, and I'm such a god damn it. You know, at some point, like getting close to the election, I'm gonna do like all day streams. You do realize this. This is just too much shit. Just gonna be too much shit. But you know how I love, you know what I love, chat room? Here, I'll tell you. I love my girlfriend. I love my kid. I love her kid. I love our cats. I love my friends. This is not in particular order. This kind of rotates to whoever's gonna get the hug right in front of me. I love the kidney. I love you guys. Yeah, a lot. A little too much sometimes, I gotta admit, and I apologize if I get a little emotionally gropey. But, you know, if you're a star, they let you do it. Fortunately or unfortunately, but mostly fortunately, but probably unfortunately. And I also, I love being told what I think. And I also, by people who want you to know what I'm thinking or what we think, that's the best, or what we're planning. And because I often, I don't know about you, but I I find the eyes wide shut deep state parties a little boring. Once the sex stops, I'm like, where's the chocolate covered strawberries and my Rolls Royce back to the city amongst the plebes? And, but when I'm there, I'm like, they're like, okay, here's the plan. This is what we're going to do to people against their will and how we're going to manipulate them to do what we want. And I'll go, you mean like Ray Epps whispering into a magazine? I'll go, shut the fuck up, Sparks. I'm like, I'm a comedian. It's my job. It's why you brought me here. What do you want me in the Illuminati for anyways if I can't make a goddamn joke? They don't even listen. So, the other thing I like is when I forget the plan, somebody like Alex Jones will be there to tell me what the plan is. And since I'm Hollywood, this exclusive report is all about me. Exclusive special report: how movies are used to precondition. Like you mean like that Jim Caviezel movie, that weird lying piece of shit movie. It was supposedly about two Guatemalan kids, but they were actually about two kids from like Temecula, and the daughter was never actually kidnapped, and it was all a story. Anyways, or whatever, the Daily Wire movies. You mean that? Okay. But there you go. This is, you're being preconditioned to accept dystopian slavery. Jesus Christ, this asshole's been drinking Kyle Kalinski's bathwater again.
Please welcome Yuval Noah Harari.
Hi, Yuval. How are you? JonesCrowder.com. Really? Wait, they hyphenated? They got married?
COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance.
Yeah, it didn't, that actually didn't work. It didn't legitimize it. The vast majority of the populace didn't go for something like that. We don't have vaccine passports. It didn't make us all okay with biometric saved it. Nobody was like, fuck HIPAA, we need to know. Like, what are you talking about?
We want to stop this epidemic. We need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin.
Did anybody get a fucking vaccine into their Mons Venus and their fucking above their thumb? That looks like an owie.
What we have seen so far, it's corporations and governments collecting data.
What? Using TikTok or apps or...
about where we go, who we meet.
Wait, what was that? Whoa. Where was the guy on the motorcycle going? We all have a right to know. Right, guys? Where's the tracking data on that motherfucker? It should come up on my screen. Look, I submitted to this and I got the chip implant so that as soon as a car drives by, I can see the pulse rate, the blood type, the genealogy, and the direction, and the buying history, and the URL search results that they've done in the last 72 hours, and a word cloud around them of the most demanding phrases that they bring up in conversation in case I have to talk to this asshole. And nothing, just zips right by. And you're just going to let that happen? You're going to let that happen. Okay.
What movies we watch.
On an old television from... That's a 90s remote, I gotta say. Look at where's this television from? And also, is this a whole video? I mean, I appreciate the retro part of it, but...
The next phase
is moving to Thailand and riding a tuk-tuk bus?
Surveillance going under our skin.
Ooh. Well, now that sounds promising.
We now see...
That's not gonna fit. That's not gonna fit. I'm just saying, that's a little... That, even for me, that's too big. I don't know how. And seriously, there's not enough Vaseline in the world.
Mass surveillance systems established even in democratic...
Yeah, it looks like they're tracking clouds with that software. I don't think it's... Why do they give a fuck about this guy? That would track like 6 people.
Next phase is the surveillance going under our skin.
Okay, first of all, it's not Twitter anymore, so you're way behind.
Now seeing mass surveillance.
There's way more people on the planet than that. I mean, what is this? What is this? Just like it's just tracking super gonorrhea, and that's Alex Jones. Is that how you? Okay.
Systems established even in democratic countries, which previously rejected them. And we also
Oh, it's terrible. And there's this thing now, I don't know if you guys know this. When you're outside and you're on the street, if people see you there, they're allowed to remember it. How you like that? And they call me paranoid.
see a change in the nature of surveillance.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this lady's surveillance eyeball is itching because, you know, it's a new one. It's the beta model or whatever, and it sends little shocks to the ocular, cavity, and it can be a little bit irritating at times. And here she is. She's standing on a corner trying to record what everybody's up to, and it just itches. You know what I mean? There's just many gaps in it and stuff like that. So hopefully she's got a surveillance buddy. Remember, 2x2.
Previously, surveillance was mainly above the skin. Now it's going under the skin.
That guy did it by choice. Putting an RFID chip for a specific task under your skin doesn't tell any of your biometric data. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite of that. It doesn't give a fuck who you are. As long as the chip approaches the thing, it can be anybody. Anybody could put the same RFID chip under their skin, walk up to the same lock, and open it up. What's the difference? Do you think this asshole's car, he's got like an old house key to open his car? Or do you think he goes like that and you're like, okay.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip
By choice. This is so old.
that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Governments want to know not just where we go or...
Yeah, but it doesn't serve as his COVID passport because he doesn't need one.
who we meet. Above all, they want to know what is happening under our skin. What's our...
I'll tell you what's happening under my skin. Beneath the skin beats the heart of a champion. What the fuck this is like. Also, I think you could have picked a scarier music, don't you? This is it's a little corporate. I'm just not scared by it. You know what I mean? It sounds like, all right, we're getting on with it. Also, this thing, I gotta say, if the Illuminati really wanted to torment us all, they wouldn't have gone to these kind of devices. They just stuck with rectal thermometers. You know what I mean?
body temperature? What's our blood pressure? What is our medical condition?
In a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is
Well, yeah. Yeah, I can also get my ears pierced really fast. And
complete.
When scanned, all of a person's information about their vaccination status is shown on a reader or phone.
Now...
that's for the app. And no, it doesn't. It doesn't say everything you've had and none of your medical history, just your vaccine history if you're going into a place that mattered at the time. None of this is true. Like, this is, again, I love the fact that this is another example of how Alex Jones was fucking wrong about everything, that they always just fucking, like, they freak out, like, it's coming, and then it doesn't come, and they're like, it could have, but thank God I was here. Like, really? You're the one that scared them off?
humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before.
Thanks for noticing.
We are really acquiring divine powers.
No, we're not. Do not put on the MetaQuest 2 and try to walk out a third floor window. It will not work.
Of creation and destruction.
Also, just because this dude is trans cyber and is playing like some sort of Sim Earth battle from his shitty apartment in New York. The fuck?
We are really upgrading humans into gods.
Well, I mean, a vaccine definitely makes it so that you survive something that naturally would have killed you a long time ago. What?
Acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
Yeah, you notice how they kind of bail out when they get to the part where you're like, actually, that's not a bad idea, I suppose. I mean, could we guarantee that there are no like birth defects passed on so that every child is born healthy, so no one has to ever have a ectopic pregnancy again because they figure out what's wrong with it, and then you can have gene therapy, and then your child, the baby will make it to term because they figured out the resiliency of a healthy baby versus any of the previous reasons why a child would develop, spina bifida or something like that, and they managed to get rid of it. You're like, that would be terrible.
Humans are now hackable animals.
No. No, we're not. No. There are no drone baby farms, dum-dum.
You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Well, you know what? I gotta say, the second part of that sentence is the part that really fucks with this. I gotta say, the whole ending it with "you will be happy" just takes really this. It just pulls the evil rug out from under it. You know what I mean? Just isn't as. I would rewrite that. You will own nothing, and you will obey, or at the very least, I don't know. I got to workshop it. You will own nothing and like it. Is closer. You will own nothing and like it. You would get the spankings. I'm just saying this. Now it's starting to get naughty.
I think that fake news have been with us for thousands of years.
Okay, asshole. Don't put up the stone being pulled aside and Jesus not being there and the sign of the cross and saying fake news at the same time. I'm just saying... Are you calling bullshit on the Gospels in front of Alex Jones?
Just think of the Bible.
Ouch!
The whole idea that humans have, this, they have this soul.
This Messiah who speaks peace on earth or something like that. I don't know. It's all shit to me.
Or spirit, and they have free will, and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will. That's over.
That's over, because they're going to start marketing directly to you. There's the thing, though. There are a lot of other people, and unless you can make everybody think the same way, then you'll have to market to everybody else the same way. And in that market manipulation, you'll make mistakes. And it will always be like that until you come up with some sort of like food spray so none of us ever have to eat ever again. We just go and we're ready for and then I guess we're going to have to come up with some sort of cellular reinforcement of all of our bloodstream so we can survive in space. You know what I mean? Which would be kind of great. I don't know. I think I wasn't buying the guy's sales pitch in the beginning about post-humanism and sort of, but now I am. I think, yeah. Mr. Spock, what these people believe about the future is just garbage. They think everything's going to be robotic. I don't understand. Why can't we convince them, Spock, that humanity survives no matter where we are? There are many races that have entered into space, like the Borg, and they've changed to fit it. But I have to say that humans have not, Spock. They haven't. We're always going to be illogical. There, I said it. Now shut the fuck up. He required everyone, small and great and rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. Come here, Alex. I'll give you a mark on your fucking forehead. A little dab will do you. What the fuck?
This belief,
Oh,
if
fuck
you
this guy.
you find rights.
Look, there is a great machine that is controlling the world that makes everyone shop at H&M and buy hipster glasses, and no one can escape it, especially the more you look like Barry Gibb, the better. That's what I feel. I woke up screaming that this morning, and somehow, by the time I got to the mirror, what the fuck? Oh, darling, please believe me, I'll never do you no harm. So believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. When you told me, sorry,
Even the fictional stories
you didn't need me anymore.
that humans have invented and spread around.
Yeah, it sounds like regular TEDx bullshit. Maybe if you wrap it up, here's a good idea. Work with me on this. Perhaps update your theory to post-COVID because no one ended up in, a bullshit dystopian medical nightmare place where we all have to scan our fucking chip to go buy a loaf of bread or some shit like that. And maybe if you did that, you'll get to be on the big TED stage instead of being stuck at TEDx like an asshole. I don't know. I had this feeling my whole life that I don't want to be on the real TED show. I just want to be on the TEDx, because it sounds pornier and a little bit like an energy drink, It's like an energy drink that gives you just enough energy to not do anything. Drink TEDx. It's almost like energy. It's enough energy to get you through a cocktail conversation, but not enough if you're asked any deep questions about it. TEDx. It doesn't fucking... I don't know how you open this thing with this. Does anyone have an old-fashioned, because some fucking hipster TEDxer, does anyone have one of those? I need one of those oil can plungers. Anybody?
Now, Aldous Huxley in Brave New World, and then in the nonfiction book Brave New World Revisited that came out decades later, where he breaks down the fact that, again, it was actually a future prediction of the world they were going to build.
Which didn't actually happen, but don't let that bother you.
He talks about the fact that
once you had a big studio and now you're having to do this from home.
Doesn't see the future mainly being a 1984 jackbooted thug system coming after you.
Well, that's a relief. Obviously. Can it be that way if that's our thing? You know what I mean? If we like wearing leather and that kind of stuff. I'm asking for a friend.
But it would be a nanny state.
Nanny state. Oh, really? So if I want something, they'll just go get me a bottle and then if they'll let me, because it's not my real mom, they'll just let me get away with anything. That kind of nanny state. Is it a hot nanny? Is it like Pornhub nanny? Is that what we're talking? Because I could do Pornhub nanny state. I honestly could. I mean, it's not. I don't need to. That's all right.
That incrementally domesticated and enslaved people by
Yes, by babying
pulling them off the land and putting them in cubicles and putting them in tiny coffin apartments and then
Wait, they're going to help us move? Wait a second. All right, I wasn't about to go for this dystopian future, but if they're actually providing moving services, so when's the truck show up, honestly?
Taking control of human development and human reproduction, where it would all be
well, I mean, those parts of it that can be controlled
done in a laboratory. And
well, I mean, look, I have as many odd fantasies as the next person. I've never really, like the lab thing, I'll tell you why. Too much glass on the counters. And so the whole, if you do that, you're just going to get cut. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like sex on the beach. It makes no sense to me. You're going to get sand in some really uncomfortable places.
And you'll see in demolition.
Imagine a broken beaker. See what I'm going, Alex? Ew.
Man, that all of that is obviously there. We're only going to play.
Obviously. I mean, it's not here now, but it's obviously going to be here. Sooner than you think, but farther away than, long enough for me to make a living off of it for a very long time. Die an old man, fat and wrong. And by the time I die, you're going to be like, that motherfucker, it sucks to be you, coughing.
Some clips of it, so I suggest you go back and revisit it. I think it's a pretty entertaining action film.
The thing you were showing the clips of? That's an action film? I got to be honest, it looks like a shitty AI knockoff vlog channel on YouTube.
Extremely informative.
So that's all. I'm just saying, as action films go, that's a lot of stock footage.
But
that, by the way, doesn't convey the message that the person thinks it does.
Again, in this review, I'm going to go through it as quickly as I can.
Well, thanks. Yeah, wrap it up, because we saw the clips and we weren't impressed, so I can't imagine you talking about the clips will be any better. Also, jump to the part where he calls the Bible bullshit. That's your favorite part, right?
The whole thing starts with
Opening credits, titles. No, a big explosion. Something scary.
Police officer that got too overzealous going after the bad guys, so he's been sentenced to cryo freeze. And
Wait, Demolition Man? This is a review of Demolition. I love Demolition Man. Where he wipes his ass with the fucking swear coupons until he learns how to use the 3 seashells. And they all sing the fucking Oscar Mayer Wiener theme song. I love that movie. What's wrong with that? Oh, thank you, Mama Cat.
while you're in the frozen animation, they put a chip in your brain, a Neuralink, that
so Elon Musk is in on it. Good to know.
reprograms you.
I knew I didn't trust that fucker. Thanks for reminding me, Alex. Yes. So thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. Just passing that along, clarifying. Elon Musk, dangerous, not to be trusted, probably part of the Illuminati. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
And prepares you for when you get released in the future.
Well, I mean, I think you don't have to be prepared to be released in the future. Just glad it happens. And if you're in cryo, you're not awake, so... It's weird. Can you punish someone if it's instant? I mean, if you arrest, I'm serious about this. So they cryo freeze you. One of the worst things about going to prison, I think, is the time you lose. Right? You go in young and you come out an old man, and if you're still the kind of murdering, rapey, psycho asshole you were when you went in, at the very least you're too brittle to try it again. You know what I mean? Like, you'd like to go on a strangling spree, but your hands you got arthritis and all these girls are so much faster than you remember them. You know what I mean? But if you go in cryo, you're like, this 23-year-old murderer, I sentence you to 100 years in cryo. And you're like, you mean I can see 100 years in the future and you guys are going to let me out and I'll still be fucking age? What? Why would you cryo somebody? Why is it I would think you would cryo good people. You know, if you had a disease they couldn't cure or something, you just go, hey, we'll put you in cryo, we'll wake you up when it's all good. Why would you do that with prisoners? Fuck them. Right? Come on.
Dystopic society that is masquerading.
Dystopic? Dystopian. This topic, I think, is dumb. This topic is very stupid.
As a utopia, and I'll just skip to the end of the movie here.
Yeah, I prefer dis over utopia sometimes, just because it's punk rock.
Before we get into the predictive programming, and it's just classic.
Yeah, it's so good.
The guy that's taken over the world has done it through a manipulated stock market crash.
Just like George Soros, only not. Or Donald Trump, only not. Or Bill Gates, only not.
Decades before.
Well, obviously. And he's old, and he's like, fuck. Spent all my time making money on the stock market. I should have just cryo froze myself. I'd be alive right now in fucking age.
And it's like a BlackRock type company. They've banned eating beef. Again, they've banned.
How do you consume it? We banned eating it. You're still allowed to use it for its nutrient value. But how you get it into your body is now a lot more complicated. Sorry. They banned beef. You can't eat beef anymore. It's all venison and elk and a lot of game meats and whatever stuff. Joe Rogan is the evil stock market guy in this story.
And having sexual intercourse between each other. Everything is virtual reality. But he doesn't have enough.
Well, if everything's virtual reality, can't you do just virtual sex and you wouldn't know the difference? Or?
Control. And there are a lot of people that live in these underground ghettos, and the globalists talk about in the future, those of us that don't want to live.
Is he really talking about Demolition Man? I thought he was talking about the fucking movie that we just saw, but I think he's actually talking about the actual movie Demolition Man, like an asshole.
In their compact 15-minute control grid prison cities, well, we can just live in some ghettos somewhere if we can feed ourselves. Well, basically, this is in the future.
Basically, it's in the future. It's basically in the future. It's like not really in the future. It's kind of like basically in the, it's like that weird future where they put it far enough away where it seems like a long time till you get there, and then you look up and you're like, oh shit, it's 2024 already. And isn't it funny how Demolition Man was set in 2018?
And the villain, who is again the utopian liberal,
and obviously played by Benedict Cumberbatch,
on the surface,
just because they had to find, for for DEI reasons, they had to find somebody who had every consonant in their name except Z, because we still hate the Russians no matter what.
he unfreezes a super criminal.
Yeah, he's Demolition Man. He's just telling us, Jesus Christ. We don't live in Demolition Man. We don't sing jingles. The vegetarianism isn't being enforced. Everybody in that town is happy until this asshole shows up and starts killing her. Nobody does need guns. The only reason this fucker gets out is like it works until he doesn't.
From the past, played by Wesley Snipes.
Ah, it is shit, man. What? Really? Look, it's bad enough when they go to 1984 all the time, but Jesus Christ, if you're okay, look, if you're going to talk about a dystopian future that's Demolition Man is far too good-natured and sort of silly. It's almost like an action comedy. Yeah, it doesn't work. You have to go. Although I will say that let's see, let me try the movie. That Wesley Snipes' character in it is a murderous rapist and a terrible, terrible person, which they just kind of like in this happy-go-lucky, silly movie. Just don't give a shit about. If we're gonna go with a total dystopian movie, can I introduce you guys to another potential one? Just broaden your, for this idiot. Can we broaden your sci-fi and neo-futurism palette a little bit? May I? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the movie Nemesis, starring Olivier Gruner, the French kickboxing champion. It's wonderfully low budget and fucking awesome. It's such a piece of shit, but it asks all the right questions about humanity and electronics, and they kill his dog, spoiler alert, which you don't do. Yeah, he only made one. They were trying to like, oh, I have people like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and this guy's better looking and slightly younger. Let's just, he's got a French accent. Fuck it. Dead serious. Nemesis, I gotta say, one of my, I won't ruin it for you. It's relatively early. Nemesis, it's a low budget, like 91, I think, action thriller. And in the future, the LAPD is Interpol. 92. It was 1992. And I mean, you're going to be disappointed because you've grown up in the age of 4K, but it's a good fucking movie. It's good. Rob Schneider's not in that movie. Oh, he's in Demolition Man, right? Nemesis, yeah. Anyways, back to this dickhead.
So that
Alex, watch Nemesis and then shut the fuck up.
He can come into the future and take out his political.
I can come into the future. You want to see me? Everybody does, technically. Why do I get dragged into these stupid jokes? Because of this asshole. Why did I let that happen?
Enemies, and then of course the supervillain thinks that he will then be able, using the brain chip, to just deactivate the supervillain. But of course that.
But apparently in the future, brain chips don't work, and they don't. This asshole has never seen Escape from New York, where you put bomb chips next to the guy's jugular that he can't take out, and if he goes off the rails, you just kill him. That's the spoiler alert. The entire plot of Demolition Man falls apart if the bad guy ever got to see a Laserdisc copy of Escape from New York. This is my impersonation of the years after Demolition Man, when kind of in the sequel, and they've imprisoned this guy, the villain, They've frozen him. He's in cryo. And in cryo, because you're awake, but you don't age, you're just frozen there, but your brain is awake, you're allowed to like binge watch movies and that kind of shit or whatever. And this is my impersonation of him seeing, like, flipping through movies until he finds Escape from New York. 10 minutes into Escape from New York. Fuck! That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you. And scene.
That doesn't go the way he thought it would. So it's got false flag attacks in it. It's got all the real stuff.
And by real stuff, he means bullshit that hasn't happened yet and won't.
That governments throughout really modern history have been obsessed with, but have also engaged in throughout history being recorded. And if you go...
Yeah, well, mainly, I think that one thing, the Oscar Mayer Wiener hot dog song is actually it's an earworm, I gotta say.
Back to the creation of the theoretical design of the internet when it was declassified in 1960. It was created by government psychologists, psychiatrists at DARPA.
DARPA. Come on. I think we got an audio drop. We're going to have to grab that one.
Theoretical design of the internet when it was declassified in 1960. It was created by government psychologists, psychiatrists at DARPA.
DARPA. Derpa. Durka.
Where you would indeed have computer terminals in public everywhere that would make sure your programming was going correctly.
Mm-hmm. Is that why you broadcast every day? Oh, shit.
And would surveil you, and then they could surveil all of us in live time with handheld computers. They just said as soon as they could make systems small enough to do it.
Yeah, that's like the one thing. Well, when will these assholes keep track? That was when they were their last design before it totally collapsed was a PDA, personal digital assistant. Once they invented that, people were like, and it needs a pen, so you can write. If it did handwriting recognition, we could really do that. And then it should play music, because they like music a lot, and this will keep them. And if we give them this shit and we track them everywhere, they'll never be able to charge up the steps of the Capitol and take a shit in the dome. God damn it!
Which they did. They would then use all of that to have the central computer.
This is, by the way, I'd like to say for the record, for those of you following along at home, please hit the like and subscribe and patreon.com and all this stuff, because I'm the only person who's addressing these clips in their entirety. This dick, I didn't pull this clip. He put this up. He thought this is a good idea. He was like, this is a great example of what I do for a living. And I would like to say for the record...
AI system.
Shut the fuck up. I would like to say for the record that this is ass. That this is all ridiculous. This is a ridiculous man selling a ridiculous idea, and God bless him, he has figured out a way to monetize idiocy, and he's never missed a dessert in his life. So clearly, he's got something up on me, because I'm not I couldn't afford to be. I mean, I don't know that he could afford to be sued for $1 billion. Not again, anyways. But at one point, possibly.
Control us and turn us into automatons. So again, they addict us to these devices.
That's like saying they make us use heroin and just hold up your needle and your spoon, and there's nothing we can do about it. I love that they addict us with these devices. Oh, do they? So you've got one? So they've got you? So why am I listening to you? Maybe this is the message they want you to tell because you got it from your device. You watch shit on... I mean, besides, apparently, trans porn, which apparently has been on his phone on the air a couple times. I think he just searched... Honest to God, I think he just searches for naked pictures of Blair White. But that's and all I've got to go on is his conversation with her, which... considering how much shit I've seen in my life actually creep me out. And that's impressive. That takes work, Alex. Good for you. But if you're saying these devices control you and they manipulate your brain and they program you, and then you hold yours up that you obviously had right there and were using just seconds ago, then why the fuck am I supposed to... Maybe This is your part of the bullshit story. You're the heel, you dumb motherfucker. Welcome to wrestling.
And then once we're totally programmed, and
what if we're only partially programmed? Is that the problem? I think that's probably what they realize. We get stuck. Most of us get stuck like with our update bar just like 3/4 of the way, and then Illuminati's just sitting there, and all of us we're not fully programmed, but we're giving them the spinning beach ball of death, and they're like, "Fuck, I gotta get my robe cleaned and get my mask out of." Which this fucker would get programmed. Shit.
and addicted to the devices.
You mean the thing that you can't have more than an arm's reach away from you that you just held up when you didn't even have to think about where it was? You just looked over, glanced, and there it was? You mean addicted to that kind of a device? What's that like? Shit, man. You know what's funny? Is I looked around for my phone, and it ain't here. It's in the other room. Because when I'm working, I don't have it here. I got shit to do. I'm doing my thing. Excuse me? Yeah, I know I left it in the other room. That's right. Because I only want to, because I don't take calls on the air. Right. No, I don't. It's not a thing. No, it's just, you know what? Explain it to me. I'll get it in a minute.
They're not just entertainment things anymore.
No. Especially, they're definitely not with that new attachment that has like suction and like the walls of it move. I mean, I've heard. I don't like.
Now they are our watchmen. Now they are our controllers.
Yeah. So you are. Let me get this straight. This device you have in your hand is watching you and controlling you. Okay. Now I have one of those. It's in the other room. And now I feel like I'm letting it down.
Now they are our prison wardens, and we don't know how to live without them. If you look at
do we? We don't? We don't know how to live without them? How do I live without you? All right.
Gen Z people and millennials, they are
don't get me started.
Completely dependent on phones. Hell, I'm already completely dependent.
Yeah, we know. You're basically, you've got the maturity and the intellect of a 14-year-old boy who was, unfortunately fell through ice on a pond and was dead for a couple of minutes, and they thought he'd be okay because they managed to get him out of there or whatever, but ever since then he's been a little off.
Incredibly useful. So they knew how to design.
Yeah, they're so, I hate these things, but I can't live without it, and that's how they get you.
These Trojan horses to make them very, very, very seductive.
That's fucking idiocy. That's, kids, I gotta say, that's pretty fucking amazing. Hold on, let me open up my chat room so I can talk to you guys. By the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. We went a little long, but not as long as I have been. I think that's it's very bold of Alex to admit he's got. That's the first step, right? Admit you have a problem. There he is. Good for you. You're the Hunter Biden of I don't know, fucking Farmville or whatever those, or one of those like swipe games on your phone. Congratulations, Alex. You're and the next step is I guess prying it out of your ass. So, anyways, thanks for joining me today. By the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. If you like that, the kind of stuff I'm doing at all, I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. We've got a great show for you tomorrow. Philip will be with us, I think, from for sure from Kiev tomorrow morning, and we'll be talking about Ukraine and lots doing there. Also, I will continue to annoyingly bring up Sudan because for all of our faux-aggressive friends who only give a shit about Arabs or black people when they die, if there's a cop or a Jew on the other side of the gun, the rest of the time they're just like, man, fuck them. It's curious. Start to think at some point you actually don't care about the people. You just want you just hate the other group enough where you're like, just weird. Isn't that weird? It's weird. Does it strike you as weird? It strikes me as weird. I'm just saying. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. I have to charge my earbuds. They're starting to die in my ears. They were literally talking to me going, low power. I gotta make it to the end of the show. See you in the morning.
Please don't forget, for all the great folks over here at Mug Club who've signed up at jonescrowder.com so that we get some of the funds and help support not just the great work of Stephen Crowder and his crew, but us as well. And I want to thank you all for your support, and I'll see you next week right here at Mug Club.